Alrighty, folks. This should be an interesting game. We step foot onto an arena here. The map was stone walls. A very beginner-friendly, a very boomy map, as we call it, so you can focus on your economy. And we've got two very good farming civilizations in this game. And we have players that have the rank that you can see at the bottom right. If I'm ever doing a live game, I have to manually put it at the top. But these games were ones that were submitted within my Discord game submissions. And you see 969 elo for Roids here in the blue, playing as the Poles. And then a little over 1,000 elo for ACF 666. So not really low elo legends, these two. Now, I have to think, like, why would someone submit a game to me? It's not going to be meta, right? It's not going to be like scouts versus scouts fighting over relics. What would it be? I feel like maybe what it could be is we could have Red go for a crazy castle drop. I've had a lot of people say that castle dropping on Arena has been giving them problems recently. And if you think about Sicilians, they build their town centers and castles way faster. That could be a play here. But yeah, we'll have to think about it for now. In the meantime, though, because I still get quite an influx of emails, Instagram messages, Twitters, tweets, I guess, Facebook messages, whatever. If you're someone who, wants to submit a game, I cannot promise I will see it. In fact, do not count on it. However, we have a Discord. There's lots of other cool people in the Discord you can talk to about games, whatever. There's a bunch of different chat rooms. But there is a game submissions channel there. And on that note, it's in the description as well as a bunch of other links if you want to stay involved in my community. But if you tag me in that room, that game will immediately be deleted. All right? It's literally a rule of the Discord. I feel like more people are coming into Discord, they don't read the rules, and then they're just like, I know how to make my game stand out. And then I wake up and I go to my Discord and I see it was tagged and my mods deleted it and I have this random notification. So just put it in there. I do read through it. I just don't want a million tags, all right? So Poles, I think are the better civ here. The Poles receive some gold when they mine stone. They receive gold at half the rate that they are receiving the stone. But I mean, it also trickles in like 1, 2, 3. So it even feels stronger than that in some ways. They get 10% of their farm's food when they place farms around a full work. They get that immediately before they finishing the farm and reseeding, of course. Map kind of looks like ooh, wait. There's an animated character that this map is reminding me of. And it's on the tip of my tongue. Guys, what does this minimap look like? I'm seeing eyeballs. For sure. Arena always looks like someone wearing a pair of glasses. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So far, these guys have had some issues here or there with some basics, like Blue forgot a house. Red's had a bit of TC idle time. But overall, their approach seems pretty solid so far. Kirby? I definitely wasn't thinking of Kirby. Koala from American Dad. Al with glasses. Mortimer. Arthur. Like Arthur from like Hey Arthur? That's the only Arthur I know. I remember watching that as a child. Well, now, before we talk about the rest of the game, I have to look. Hey Arthur? It's a little embarrassing if you guys aren't talking about that Arthur. You are talking about that. Arthur the Aardvark. Oh, wait, hold on. Because I'm not really seeing Hey Arthur. Arthur the Aardvark. Oh, it's literally the same. He's an Aardvark. I didn't even remember. Guys, it doesn't really look like an Aardvark if you think about it. I just knew him as Hey Arthur. Sorry, it's been a while, man. It was funny. I Googled Hey Arthur, and then I made a separate Google for Arthur the Aardvark expecting a different image. And, yeah, I did not get a separate image. So, okay. All right, anyways, back to the game. I kind of see it. It wasn't who I was thinking of, to be honest. But again, it's on the tip of my tongue. So. Whoa, Blue's going up already. Blue's going up with 3 on golds. No villagers on stone. 4 on the lumber camp. 4 on the straggler tree. I think Blue's going to go for something wacky here. Again, we knew Well, you would assume anyways that if I'm reviewing a game submission that has been reviewed already, it's probably something that stands out from the pack. What is it going to be? Red's going fast castle, and everything is fairly standard so far. Remembers that houses are important. That's good. What blue could be trying, possibly, is just rushing the farm upgrade and kind of having a longer feudal age with a really big food boost. But the 3 on gold would... Like, that's the standout here that confuses me. But yes, my guess currently is that we're going to see a bunch of farming from blue, and the 3 on gold is just going to be for Castle Age later on. Not necessarily a build order that I'm in love with here from blue so far. Gotta love this from red, though. He chose to place a mill on the deer instead of push them in. 1,000 elo without having to push in deer. I talk about it all the time, guys. Like, I see 700 elo players pushing in deer, and then they forget to create villagers out of their TC. Place a good lumber camp. You'll have the wood. You can place a mill. Life is going to be fine. Anyways, red, that might scare red a little bit. Red might be like, ooh, wait a second. What does that mean? Red sends the villagers to gold. Red will probably need a few farms, too, so there's things for red to sort out, but overall it seems fine. And I was correct with blue. Blue is now going to place those farms around the mill. There's a couple civs that, even at a higher level, are kind of known for this. Malay. Slavs, actually, are pretty good with this build order, too. If you find fast castle difficult, they farm really fast, so always good to get as many farms out as soon as possible. But yeah, we'll see if the resources climb up towards a decent castle age here for both players. All right. I have 0 idle TC and pushing deer into a sub 15-minute castle. How am I still 1k elo frowny face? I thought it was a brag for a second. I thought it was, I can do this and they can't. Huh. Well, see, that's the beauty of the game. Everyone's got different strengths and weaknesses. Some of you out there are like, T90, I only have weaknesses. No, you just haven't found your strength yet. Your strength is so unique that even you haven't found it. They're just waiting for you to unleash your potential in life. All right, you know what would make me extremely happy is if blue made a full work here and made some farms around it. And red has some eco imbalances, but I think if red makes a market and a blacksmith... Oh, there's the villagers to stone. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think with the market, you could definitely get up to Castle Age anyhow here. This is what I was curious about. Now, I'm going to give you guys a tip, okay? If you're planning a castle drop, don't think about where's the walls and leave it at that. Plan about where can I drop a mining camp after I send my villagers forward. And I say this because in some cases you might send 5, 7, 10 villagers forward. You don't want them to be here with nothing to do. So I personally base how many villagers I send on certain resources at home off of what I see. So like, you know, in Red's case, he sees this gold. So I would say, you know, don't, if I was going to place the castle there, I wouldn't have my normal required amount on gold at this stage. I'd start to pull them off to do something else. Or I just, you know, use these villagers as the castle drop villagers in the first place. Because it's really good to take those resources. And so in this case, you see this stone. This is almost just begging for a castle here into mining stone, breaking in and dropping another castle. Okay, blue just got forging, which is a unique choice because that's 150 food, which is pretty much what blue needed to go castle age. But that will affect this scout, so if he wants to attack red scout, he could do it. Now, on the topic of castle dropping, before we see red go forward, having scout presence is always a great thing to stop those castle drops. Especially because a lot of times players won't have loom. Red in this case does have loom, though. Has not sent the villagers forward yet, despite having the stone. So, very, very curious about this. Castle time's not too bad for blue, all things considered. Plus, these farms all have a ton more food on it. Everything's looking pretty as well. I mean, that's the most satisfying thing about polls, is just how pretty your base looks. Couple of villagers heading over to stone. Blue scout's still not really active in the middle. Red scout is still scouting around, but no villagers have gone forward yet. So I am much confusion. Wouldn't it be funny if red sees that scout and thinks, I can kill that, and goes to kill it, but then blue has it upgrades? Blue's just forgotten about the scout for the time being. Something I've been trying with the poles is you just make your houses right next to your TC. Because you always want to farm around mills, right? So just build it right on top of the TC. Blue. Whoa! Oh, okay. So red, instead of going for the castle drop, at least initially, red wants to boom up and drop town centers. So red makes it to Castle Age, drops a town center there. Which again is funny to me because blue scout is standing right next to it. And then we're going to see a town center here. And then we're going to see a town center here. One villager to do the job on this town center, and then 2 villagers to do the job here. And Sicilians do build their town centers faster. So now my brain is thinking, why would you go for so many town centers so early? And I'm thinking we might see the rare yet strong, yet terrifying for the enemy, First Crusade. I mean, who knows what blue's going to do? I mean, blue could go fast imp off of this. This is insane, his resources right now. And now the town center was garrisoned. Blue loses some HP, and blue runs away. All right. Now blue's going to add knights, though. Like, that's a target. Blue is already going to make some army, I think. Maybe was just thinking about scouts. But that is an easy target for the knights. So First Crusade, as we see, oh, yep, another TC. You get 7 free sergeants instantly out of your town centers. That's right, instant in Age of Empires 2 in 2022. Instant! Personally not a fan of instant, but anyways, you get it instantly at a max of 5 TCs. And so red has not even produced any more vills because First Crusade is pretty expensive. So red just, like, stopped producing vills when he made it to Castle Age, I think, or maybe soon after that. Because the idle TC time's insane. And blue's like, well, I'm going to make knights here. Now, obviously, blue can have knights that are have a heavy discount after the unique tech. And the castle's probably going to come in for blue as well. So, I mean, blue's going to be in a great position with military and with eco. I think it's 500 food and it's like 400 gold, First Crusade. Which would be way too expensive if red was actually producing villagers. What do? So, like, people say you click the button. You're going to do the thing. Click the button. There it is. First Crusade. And then petards. No, make the petards first. Oh, this is actually kind of brilliant. This is... My brain is kind of exploding here. This is awesome. Now, we probably won't hear it. But what blue will hear is like a raw. So I'll try and do it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, blue's gonna afford to drop a castle too, feeling like a beast. Just watch the score, guys. Watch the score at the bottom right. Oh, man, ready? Raw! And here they come. And now suddenly red's got all this military. Went up to 36 military. And blue would have heard that noise. I'm really glad the devs added that noise. I think it's a really fun aspect of it. Personally, I think it'd be cool if you, like, heard it ahead of time. So you kind of knew it was coming, but then there's that weird thing where they could click it and cancel it. I don't know. But here comes blue. Blue's like, all right, I've got army. I'm poles. I have awesome knights with full upgrades. And now he's going to see these sergeants and become very frustrated because that is a lot of army. Now, a fun thing about... You know, when we're casting this elo, at the highest elo, players go, there's no way he can have economy. There's no way. Like, he would have had to idle his town centers to get that. But the majority of the player bases out there, they don't know that behind this, the economy is so bad for red. So, man, oh man, does this get exciting from here. And the petards are waiting. So petards are what you could also call blowy boys, but then people take my words out of context, so we don't say that anymore. These things explode the walls. And so I think red strat is, now red's got to pull some vills, and here they come. take map control with the sergeants, blow down the walls, and then drop a castle in your opponent's base. So here's Blue. Blue says, well, you know what? That didn't work out for me. Let's make a few more villagers and let's just drop the castle in our base. And I really hope you don't open that gate, Blue. Nobody move a muscle. Red sees it. Realistically, Red should just avoid it and go in another way. What I like about Red is how Red is committed. There's something fun about this. I know that, like, realistically, you should think, okay, let's adapt in-game. Red's like, nah, screw that. This is my strategy. If it doesn't work, then I just play another game and I try again. Who wants to adapt? Ugh, it's boring. And I'm not trying to imply this isn't creative either. It's definitely very creative. Blue lacking the gold for the unique tech. Remember, paid full price for those knights. Sergeants have only 65 HP. There's only 18 sergeants right there. But will Blue be able to take out the sergeants and also stop the castle? Here come the sergeants, and here come the villagers. I don't think Blue has noticed this quite yet. Now Blue will notice. So I think this is a situation where Blue can win the fight, but the castle goes up. Because it will just go up so fast. Also, because the sergeants have smaller bodies, it's easier for the sergeants to surround the knights than it is for the knights and sergeants. However, half the sergeants didn't even fight. But yeah, any other civilization, and that castle probably does not go up. And Blue probably wins the game. But now this continues to get interesting. Now, unfortunately, you can't research Second Crusade. Man, Red might start to panic a little bit. Red gonna drop a university at all? Man, it's so quiet back here. Guys, that denies Blue's gold. Both of these golds. Puts Blue in a really awkward spot. Now, what I'd love to see Blue do is drop a siege workshop. You just cleared out your opponent's army. Going siege and knights to push that castle down would be the best play in my opinion. You could also maybe take the gold and stone out here that you've scouted. Or, turn it around and castle drop your opponent. Look at that. Blue selling wood for gold. Blue is maybe going to try and go to the Imperial Age, actually. Credit to Red. Occasionally, Red will produce more villagers. And there goes Blue on the way to Imp. Blue's also taking out this town center. And you can tell Red is paying attention to the economy again. If you can't research Second Crusade, how come there are 8 crusades in history? Listen, if Age of Empires was based on history, I don't think the civilizations would be quite as balanced. Let's put it that way. Oh, man. Oh, man, I mean, honestly, I think Blue's position's still pretty good. Now, what would be ideal, especially because the gold count's kind of low, as we see Red now use the market to maybe rush to the Imperial Age. But it would be awesome to get the unique tech, the Slachta privilege upgrade. As then you can make knights at a cheaper cost. And Blue took out that town center. Red says, I have nothing to defend this one, so just runs away from it. Now Red is going to click up to the Imperial Age as well. I think. Yes. There you go. So 1 TC into 5 TC into First Crusade into Castle Drops. Into 3 TC Imp. Quite an order of events we have here. And this is a really good game. Blue still doesn't like the idea of the unique tech, but Blue is going to take that gold. Good job from both players in crucial moments to realize they need to use the market to help them out there with the buying and the selling. So, I don't necessarily see a long-term here for Red's plan, guys. I could see how Red could win against a lot of players, but Blue has had consistent army production. Blue could make trebs from here. However, you should say that Red can easily treb this down if Red sees it from behind the walls. Good job from Blue. First thing you do, make the trebuchet. That's exactly right. 45 villagers versus 41. Sergeants are just a very weak unit in these types of positions. And Red's going to drop another castle. Buys stone is going to drop 2 castles. Now, what would be good for Red is if you can win the Treb War Suddenly blue's going to have to switch into ramps or something. Okay. Here come the knights. Quick wall. Red's going to lose all the vills. Red's going to kind of lose vills. Yeah, red's going to lose all the vills. Blue sees it. It's a Sicilian castle, though. So it could still go up, but great job from Roids. You can tell he's on Roids. That villager's trapped between the tree and the castle, and that castle gets denied there at 95%. Sergeant's, again, 65 HP unit. There's not much that red can really do to keep this position, and red taps out upon arriving to the Imperial Age. Calls the GG, and honestly, a really good all-around game. Red's strategy was aggressive enough where I can absolutely see it surprising people. I can see why he's 1,000 elo. I think if, like, a lot of players don't build castles around the time that blue was making his, and a lot of players don't make as many knights as blue did. So imagine if, you know, there's 35 military units that run into your base, and then there's a castle in your face when you're of 2 or 3 town centers. Like, I think that that's where that becomes really strong. We did see the con of the strategy from red, because in order to execute that, you really don't have the economy of your opponent. But again, fair play to blue, and a really good game there. That was cool. You know, I think, you know, if your TCs are always pumping with First Crusade, or sorry, with the Sicilians, it's really hard to get First Crusade in the early stages, but I could see it being a somewhat legit strat, because again, 35 military instantly can win you games, especially if you get it deep enough into your opponent's economy. Yeah, and I also want to probably never seen before. Look at the timeline. Look at the military numbers. It went from here to here. Total KD, blue obviously showing the strength of fully upgraded knights. Great job from blue to get those upgrades. And then, yeah, blue had amazing wood, food, and gold eco and was just behind on the stone, but not even too far off on that. I don't know if red is a player who does this all the time. You know, players like to alternate through different civilizations, and that's fine. But every now and then, even though I like the adapting, like I've said, I think it is fun to watch a player who just simply says, this is what I'm doing. I'm not deviating from it. I'm not changing it. This either works or it does not work. And maybe we should all learn from that. I feel like the game is less stressful if it's like, this is what I do, and I don't have to worry about anything else. You also don't become a complete player that way, but it can lead to some pretty fun moments, I'm sure. GG.